Hello there, Akko here. Welcome back to my Feed the Beast DW20 1.7.10 playthrough. Now, it's episode 30, it's a world download. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about this episode. I've got a little ME system that I'm going to talk about as well. But first of all, I need to talk about the world download and the version. So, it's going to be a world download episode, which means after this episode goes out, I shall put my world for download on my Feed the Beast forum thread and on Twitter. There'll be a link. It's to my Dropbox. My Dropbox is a free one, so it's limited. So if you cannot get the world download because it's pretty big, then try again the following day or the day after if you can, because I say I've got limited space on there. So that's the world download. I have updated the version. We are now on version 1.0.3. That is on the Feed the Beast launcher. It's not the recommended version of the pack, but there's the crafting lag and stuff like that I wanted to update as soon as possible. So on your Feed the Beast launcher, if you see across towards the topish right, there's a little tab that says recommended. If you change that to 1.0.3, because the recommended won't limit it to 1.0.2 as this video is getting recorded. It might have changed by the time the video goes out tomorrow, but at the minute the recommended version 1.0.2, so you need to change that manually to 1.0.3 and then it'll update the version. Now, there is a couple of extra things in my version that you need to be aware of. I am on the latest build of Carpenter blocks. The version in the updated version of the pack is still an older version of Carpenter blocks that doesn't have the lights in the what do you call it? That doesn't have this functionality of being able to put the glowstone dust into the Carpenter blocks as a light source. So my version needs to be newer. If you download the normal version of Direwolf and then load this world up, all the Carpenter blocks will be broken. All the ones that have got lights, all the ones that are sloping on the roofs, so it'll make it look a bit of a mess. Just so you're aware. And the other thing is, I've got a thing called Fastcraft. You can search it. Just search for Fastcraft. It adds some 1.8 optimization code, I believe. It cannot be added to packs because the mod developers don't give pack permission for it, so you need to add it manually. It'll make your FPS better, guaranteed. I believe it uses code that'll be in 1.8. I might be lying with that. That's what I read somewhere. But it does a lot of behind the scenes calculations better than the standard code, so it makes things run smoother, it makes your FPS better, worth getting. Now, right, there's a few dates last episode. I do apologise. I was making a bit of a mess of things. I've not played enough with this in a single player test world really. This works fine. This is all working very nice. All I need to do is if I throw gold, diamonds, or pure quartz in there, and I've got a stock of silicon and redstone in there, then it'll print me out the right things from the presses. So that all works fine. I've made too many of them. I got carried away. This, as if, of course, this toggle bus is in LAN. I was trying to add it onto the top of the thing. It is in LAN, so yeah, that now works fine. That turns on. You can see they light up. That turns off, they light down. So sorry about that. I don't know what I was thinking. And as you can see in the new version, we have got the ME. They've got the Ender IO conduits for the ME cable. Now I'm not 100% sure this is going to work with the channels. There's dense ME conduit. That's the 32 channels. So I presume the normal one's got the 8 channels. But I'm not sure it's going to work if you've got coloured channels, because unlike the item conduits, you cannot change the colours of these. So I'm not sure you're going to work with coloured conduits. I'm not sure if I'm getting ahead of myself there anyway, but there we go. Now, as you can see, I have got carried away. I made an absolute load of 4K storage. I was going to have a 4K storage for each thing. Then I started understanding channels a bit more, so that's something I'm going to have to expand to. These have all been put into this cell workbench that I made and set to one type. So I've got a 4K ingot I've got a 4K cell for all the different. So these are all the metals, these are all gems and stuff, and then all these ones are just these aren't formatted. These are all just blanks, but they're all 4K cells. My plan is to have a 4K cell for every item, but at the minute I cannot do that. As you can see, I've been building this floor up, and I'm going to get on with that in a bit. I just want to start recording first, and this is roughly what I'm going to be doing in these floors, I think. If we look up on this floor, things I can't move anywhere. So what I've had to do is I've had to rip all the sorting system apart for the time being and put it all into a temporary AE system. I'm getting on with lighting this. So this has got lights in it, hasn't got the laboratory floor block flooring yet, and the floors above this haven't got the flooring yet. They've got this flooring, which is, I guess is a ceiling of the floor below, but they've not got the actual lighting or the flooring. So I need to get that done, and then I can start putting machines into this side. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have on this first floor here. I'm going to have separate rooms. I'm going to have a grinding room. I'm going to have a smelting room. I'm going to have an alloying room. I'm going to have a liquid room, stuff like the resonant ender and destabilized redstone and stuff, and a couple of other rooms. And then the next floor up is going to be a machinery room where I'm going to have things like my pneumatic craft stuff and stuff like that, and other things like that. Now, as you can see there's a clue what I'm going to have down in these two wings. I've decided I've got that much power I need to spend on something, so I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 laser drills, 4 laser drill setups, so it's 16 laser drills down here, and same on the other side. Now, for the AE system, I'm not sure if it's going to look right just in one corner of one of these 4 corners. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to build a control room here. So I've filled that in for now, where that water was. I don't know if I'm going to have the beacon as part of the build, or if I'm going to get rid of the beacon and put something else there maybe. I'll put the beacon somewhere else, but I'm going to have a control room here. Or I might have the control room up in the air actually, and have bridges across the... Yeah, well, I'm going to have a control room where my AE is going to be. So my AE is going to be in a central area of the factory, which means it's going to be there. Which means I might have to build it even, because these are even. It kills me. So for now, what I've done is I made a real basic AE system. I made a controller. I made 9 by mistake. I've made a controller because you can bring power straight into these. Now this goes against what the wiki says. I think the wiki says you have to have an energy acceptor to change from RF to AE energy acceptor there. But in testing, I realised that you can actually put power straight into an energy a controller. So rather than make a second energy acceptor, I've just made a controller for this. Now what this can do is it can put channels out different sides. So this ME drive is using one of 32 channels out of that side, and these things are using the smart cables no longer, and since the update is no longer showing how many channels I've got, by the way. I'm not sure I will see how many channels I've got now. I have to clear my throat properly in a minute, I apologise. So there's 32 channels come out this side. At the minute I'm just using 1, 2 of them, and I'm only using 1 there, so I'm not using many channels out of this. But all I've got on here is I've got 5 blank, no sorry, I've got 5 64k cells in there, and I've just dumped all my stuff into them. Excuse me 1 second. And there we go, a little bit clearer. Now I've put 64k cells into these, and into these I have formatted certain things. So again, in the cell workbench, what you do is you put a blank cell in, and then you click in what you want in there. So you can see this one. You used to be able to name them as well, but you don't seem to be able to name them now, which is a bit unfortunate. It just tells you it's partitioned and it's precise. I think you have to put a fuzzy card in if you wanted it fuzzy. Yeah, you would. So there's cards that make them fuzzy and stuff now. But there we go. Onto the name card as well, possibly. But that's got all the ingots in. So if we look in the system in a minute, there'll be nothing called ingot in there, and there'll be nothing called nugget in there. But if I put that back in, bam, we should now have all my ingots there. So I've got 20k copper and 19k iron and stuff. So there's all the ingot storage. That's ingots. What's the other 3 I've got here? So I've got, so that one's like organic stuff. That one is, oh, what? That one's okay. Yeah, that one's gems and stuff. And then that one is everything else. So if we're looking there at the minute, all that'll be in there is ingots. Yeah. So if we can work out what's in each one by just putting one at a time in and taking the other ones out. So now we've got organic stuff. So I actually want the organic stuff there. I think I can name these using an inscriber. actually. Let me quickly go off book like I always do. Oh, no sticks in there. The sticks must be up here still. Oh, look at that. Bit of a graphic glitch. Been getting that a little bit. I don't know if it's something to do with my graphics drivers. Let's quickly just try this. Forgive me for going off book. I believe if I make a quartz cutting knife and get an iron ingot, I'll just take that one, dickhead. And if I right click that, yeah, so let's call this ingots. Put an iron ingot in there and you can get this thing called inscribe a name press. Now if I was to take that cell, will this work, I wonder? I hope I don't destroy all my ingots, that'd be fun. Let's not do it with that one. I'd rather keep my ingots. Let's do it with that empty one. And I'll call it blocks. So I'll just borrow this for a minute and take that out. You put that name press in there. And that is now called... Oh, I can't call it blocks because I've already named it ingots, haven't I? So yeah, that's now called ingots. Cool. So that's how you name. So you can name your things. You can name your cells. I think you can do them in an anvil as well, but there we go. That's called ingots, even though it's not set to ingots. So I'll sort that out off camera. Right. So that's my very, very basic ME network that I will be making. I'm going to make this. I mean, now I'm doing it. I'm going to make it into a monster. It's going to be all empowering. I'm going to use loads of channels. I think I'm going to go with a 3x3x1 controller bank, which will give me quite a lot of channel potential, and then use the first 12 colours to get different channel. But I don't want to confuse matters too much. All I've made to get things into here, by the way, is an ME interface. I've sat that on top of the ME drive. So that'll actually be using 2 channels, will it? Does that count as a channel? And then I set my input to magenta, and then I put the back of all the things here to magenta. The ones I've left there at the minute are the Yellorium and cyanite ones, and then these ones I've not put in there yet. Blocks, magic stuff, and I'm actually in the middle of processing all that ferrous. I've processed all the aluminium. I'm not going to do the shiny yet because I want to do the shiny with the cinnabar, which I'll have to automate as well. That is a mess, isn't it? What's happening in there? Oh dear. That is not what I wanted to see. What's going on? Why is nothing going in there? That's reprocessing all the sand and stuff. I don't want that to happen. Get out of there, you. Why are you? You're not set to take things, that's why. Pull. There we go. Right. So that's the dark iron, the aluminium and stuff that was in the barrels there, and now that's just outputting into the network. So that'll put all things into there. Cool. And this sand, I've got so much. I've got automated sand and cobalt, so I'm just going to bin that for now. Right. So that's my little basic ME network. MEI or port just lets you. At first, I was putting all the ingots into an undefined one, and I realised I wanted to define it. So what you can do is then you can set, using a cell workbench, you can set what you want in a cell, and then you can either send things from the other cells in the network to that cell, or you can empty things out into the network. So that's a little useful thing. I won't show you the recipes for these because you can see them in NEI easy enough. And then all I've made is a single crafting terminal, which is a terminal then upgraded. I'll show you that. Crafting terminal. So there we go. I need one on calculation processors, and then the only new things I had to make are this panel, which is easy enough, and these formation cores, which is easy enough. Now, speaking of that, the quartz and fluix, I have been making it all into pure because pure doubles it. Thank you to all the comments, by the way, regarding the AE mess last time. I've got pure fluix crystals. You grind your fluix down. So first of all, you make fluix, if you remember, by putting charged quartz, nether quartz and redstone into the pool of water, and it does it really quick. And then if you grind it down into dust, so charged quartz, make it into the fluix, grind it into fluix dust, then combine it with sand to make it into seeds, and then grow it in there with the power on. It becomes pure. So if you make everything pure, you get twice. When you make it into seeds, it doubles it up, so you're getting twice as much. And you can make everything with a pure version. So it's worth making everything pure. You can also make more charged stuff if you run out by making a thing called a charger, which I've not got yet. So we can make more charge, so you don't have to worry about about charge. Once you've got your first 4, you can make a charger, I believe. Then you can make as much as you need. But it's worth doubling all of it. Right, I've babbled enough about my little A network at the minute. I need to talk about depreciated capacitors. The newer version, the capacitor banks, the old version's been deprecated. I said depreciated, didn't I? I meant deprecated. The old version's been deprecated and the new version is a bit different. So all my banks needed changing. There's also the new vibrant one, which is a shame that I didn't make them all like that, because that holds 5 times as much, and it's not that much higher up. I've got the resources. I could have made them all them, but next time I do a big build, that's what they'll all get. So I believe I've left one set of banks unchanged. Yeah, look. So this is the new set. And the new set, what you get is, if you empty hand, shift right click, you can have it so it's got none of the red power line. Shift right click it once, it puts a red power line wherever you want it, so you can have them. I could have them wherever you want. And then if you click it again, you get this little IO input output screen. So I'm having a little input output screen in the middle. There we go. So all I've done with all these, and these are all running now, by the way. I've connected these up. It really was I was really struggling how I wanted to wire them. In the end, I've gone with this thing. I've missed a conduit cover out there. I've done it like this, so I've got facaded conduits down both sides of the factory down the bottom floor. I think that looks alright. That's an idea that Liara gave me, so thank you for that. So because I was doing that, that's why I've left the yellorium in barrels, because that's getting piped in there via the yellow. And I finished making all the capacitor banks, so I've got 8 banks. Each one can hold 315 billion RF. I've got a lot of power storage, so that's all going gravy. So what I need to do with this one is, just so it doesn't put power out, because they don't stack if they've got a different amount of power in. I'm going to cut the power off there a second. So this is all full, and now all I need to do is break all these and then put them into my crafting grid, take them back out, and now they're the new version. So you see, if I put the new version next to it, they don't connect, and it's a bit different. Look. So I'm going to cut camera and let's get this last one changed over, so then they're all done then. Okay then, I am back and I got my other reactor all sorted out, and my other capacitor bank all sorted out, so now they're all running. Some time has passed. I've actually done quite a few things. One thing I do want to do with these lifts is I want to do it so that after a small period of time, the lift comes back to the ground floor on its own. Basically, we've worked out that this is just a redstone signal. So whichever floor the redstone signal's at, it'll bring it back. So I think I'm going to test with a block updater, and it'll tell when this block changes its state, and that'll trigger a timer so that a redstone signal will come back into this. So you'll go up, and then the lift will bring itself, the elevator will bring itself back down. Anyway, look at that. I have made some signs. I've done a few things. Now, I didn't really want to leave the place in a bit of a state for the world download, but unfortunately I'm not going to have time to get any kind of processing set back up. At the minute I've just got an Alex Mac there. I haven't got a sag mill connected up to anywhere at the minute. I've finished off the floor and the glass and stuff for the east wing. We're in the east wing, yeah. We're in the east wing. So the east wing building is complete. This well, not over there, obviously, but this is all complete. I've started populating the first floor. Remember, this in England, this is the ground floor. First floor's up there. So what I need to do is a few things I want to cover. First of all, Merry Christmas. If you only watch this series, then Christmas Day will be my Resident Rise video going out. So this video will go up Christmas Eve, I think. So hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas. I'm having a wonderful time, thank you. And if you care, I don't know if you do, but I hope you do have a very nice Christmas. Also, I didn't mention earlier, I said I was on a different Carpentry Blocks version. If you are watching this at a later date, I'm sure whatever version is in the pack is probably fine. If you are watching this around the time it came out, which is Christmas 2014, you may need to update to a newer version of Carpentry Blocks. I'll put a comment on the video, I'll put an annotation on the video earlier as well, but the version you need is 3.3.4. That's the version that has the glowstone in the blocks for lighting and stuff. Some of the other things I just want to mention and cover in this episode really quick. First of all, check out my hit points. I've got 88 points. Turns out, I've got the full set of yellow heart canisters, so I thought I'd put them on, seeing as I've got extra hit points anyway from my terrestrial armor. So terrestrial armor gives you 10 extra. Then I've got another 10, another 10. So I've got 40 hearts, which is 88 points. So I'm a bit of a beast. I just thought I'd mention that. This stuff, of course, will be in this chest here. All my gear will be in this chest here in the east wing, where the AE system is. And there's a bed there if you want to sleep. I have got my bed set up into the room up there, but it's not very good at the minute, and it's a bit far to run. So, things I want to do in future episodes: A control room. I think that's going to be in the middle where the beacon is. I want to get some factory employees. I want some NPCs around, and I may have them trapped in certain areas and get really load of vacuum chests, so I have them as my emerald supply. So instead of me paying my factory employees, I'm gradually taking emeralds off them, rather than just having a load bunched in a room like I have at the minute, because that seems a bit mean. Universal sensors, thank you very much. A couple of people, well, quite a few people mentioned after the previous episode, I said about putting doors into these. And there's a block from Pneumatic Craft called Universal Sensor. I've actually made one, I had a little look at it, that's it there. And in this you can entity tracker. In this, if you put the entity tracker upgrade in, you can how do I select it again? Oh, and there. Do I need pressure to select it? I'll do it another time, but basically that can detect when either I am there or any player, or it can detect all kind of things, with the sun shining, if it's raining, what time of day it is, all kind of stuff. So that is something we'll be doing in a future episode. I'll be sorting the rest of the doors out. I've got garage doors in, by the way. When I updated the Carpenter Blocks mod, it's the version with the garage doors, so I don't actually need to make all them. But I'm glad I made them anyway, because they're quite nice. And I need a tree farm. I'm getting quite low on wood. So that's future episodes. What I want to do in this episode, elevator expansion, is also a future episode. This is now the version that's got the multi-block elevators, so I want to make all these, instead of a single block, I want to make them 9, and these ones as well, so that my elevators will be a lot better. That takes a hell of a lot of resources, and that'll take me some doing, but that's a future episode. Now, industrial craft, can't spell. Industrial craft, I've spelled deprecated wrong earlier as well. I'll cover that in a minute. I've completed the East rebuild. The industrial craft information panel I'll cover. I just want to quickly cover this blood magic issue that I had, and a mana production issue, and not an issue, but mana production. I just wanted to show you in this version, it's the version with the floating flowers. If you watched DW20's Forgecraft episode a couple of days ago, you'll see he started making these floating flowers, so I thought I'd have a go as well. So my mana production room now is running off 64 fern lilies. I've got 8 around each of these serenades of the nether. Because these are floating flowers, they don't have to sit on the grass blocks, so they don't stop the lava from running over, which is very cool. They block the lava in. So instead of having just 4 in the corners, you can actually have 8 around each serenade. So I've got 16 of them at each mana spreader, firing at these mana distributors, which fill these pools, which of course I've showed you before, sparked. And what do you reckon? Like me information panels. West 1, Britannia R&D, 20 room 1, mana production room. Botanic crafting. So then Why you not fill? Oh, that's why. That one's filled. That's my dominant spark. So that's filling from in there. That's not filled because I have not got that pointing at it. So that is just an occasional fill. I might actually change the way I'm doing this. I might actually do that in this episode if I get time. What I've got on here is I've got a spark called, I do not know, dispersive spark. What that's doing is that's filling up my mana ring. That guy, my greater band of mana. Every time I come near it, it's filling my mana ring from this pool, so I don't have to mess around throwing my mana ring into pools. There is a thing called a mana mirror, which I actually want to make. And it's actually pretty straightforward. Yeah. Tell you what, back in a sec, I'll get the bits ready. Okay then, that didn't take long at all to get the bits together, but the issue I did have is because of that dispersive spark, I actually need an empty mana tablet to craft this. And because of that dispersive spark, it actually filled my mana tablet up. I didn't want it to, there we go. So there we go, I've got a mana mirror, wonderful. So I've taken the dispersive spark off of there. In fact, I'm actually going to take that off there as well because I no longer need that mana pool. What I can do with this mana mirror is if I shift right click on that mana pool, bam, then that, I no longer need that. So that can go in there. That can go there. And that greater band of mana can go in there because I no longer need it. This will draw mana from that pool wherever I am. So I can be in the Underdark, wherever I am. My armor is going to stay repaired because that mana mirror is linked to that mana pool and it's always going to fill me up. How was that? Wonderful. Slight difference with the glass. Well, remember, the elf glass now, it needs to be mana glass before. So before you could just throw vanilla glass through your portal. Now you have to throw vanilla glass into a mana pool to make it mana glass, and then mana glass from the portal to make it elf glass, which makes more sense, to be honest. And yeah, and one other thing while we're in here is I've added a little bit of control onto there. So that's just, that detects when this is full. And as you can see, it's full now. Just about, why are you full? You should not be full. I should have to check that off camera. That the red ones aren't going in for some reason. Something is blocking the system. I shall have to check that out. That's not right. But as you can see there, when the vacuum chest is full, then the horn gets turned off automatically. But something is wrong with it. I didn't check it when I set it up. I just threw it all together. Get up my bloody inventory, flowers. That one. There we go. So yeah, right. Blood magic issue. When I updated, I noticed that. Well, in fact, it's the same issue we've got on the other server I play. I noticed, I thought I'd better make sure this is working before the world download, and I took the sword out there, and the thing didn't telepose. The altar and the teleposer didn't telepose. So I did a bit of checking on the Serenades of the Manor of the Nether upstairs that on the Green Groves. I mean, I've got upstairs underneath the Essenceberry farm. The redstone signal wasn't turning them off either. Now I had a quick post on Wade's blood magic thread. He let me know he's changed the way it works. So teleposers and ritual stones, master ritual stones, they now need a redstone signal inside them rather than just touching them. So when you've got Ender IO conduit set standard, it's just putting a redstone signal to the block. Wade's changed it because it can make it so that rituals can affect each other if you've got multiple rituals near each other by sharing the redstone. So he's made it so that you have to actually put redstone into the block. So a button puts redstone into the block, as does a lever on the block. The Ender conduits, by the default route, do not put redstone into the block. But if you press this, strong signal, then strong signal puts it into the block as far as I can tell, because that's made it work again. So I've had to change them to a strong signal, and I've had to change them on my green groves upstairs as well. So now, with them on strong signal, this works again. Because I think most people downloading the world would probably want to have a look at that. So I wanted to make sure that was working. So that is actually working. Look at that, I didn't fail my flight there, did I? A little video I made, I kept failing my double jump for flight, but there we go. So that all works fine, and they put back up as they're meant to, and the altar comes back as it's meant to. And that's all good. and I think I mentioned before I've changed that so it works just by having a sword in. Now I think I'm about done with everything I wanted to cover. On the production, yeah, Blood Magic issue is sorted, and that's all for other episodes, but that's kind of the things I want to get on with, as well as completion of the builder course. So lastly then, let's have a quick look at industrial information panels. Now this floor up here, this is just to give you a bit of an idea what I'm going to be having, by the way. I'm actually going to change it though, so this is going to be room 6, and the milling room is actually going to be room 1 because of the way it's easier to get up and down the floors where these are. So I'm going to move the industrial stuff, the tech stuff, to this end of the building and work my way that way instead, like I have done on that side. Anyway, just to give you an idea how I'm going to do it, I'm going to have, from my quarries or whatever, or the laser drills if I get them, I'm going to have things coming into this chest via the possibly the ME network, maybe straight from the ender chest, and then this is going to go into, I'm going to have banks of, this is sag mills, so I'm going to have a room full of sag mills that I'm going to process everything into dusts. Then the next room is going to be a room full of smelters that's going to process everything into ingots. I'm going to have an alloying room which is going to make all my vibrant alloys and stuff like that. I'm going to start making dark steel balls rather than flint for the sag mills, so they've got a better chance. Dark steel balls, you get 5 from 5 ingots, so I need to automate the processing of dark steel, and you can use that like in a sag mill where I've been using flint to get you a bit of bonus. The dark steel gives you more bonus. There you go, look, you get more main output, more bonus, and less power use. So I shall be manufacturing that, automating that, so all them sag mills have got dark steel balls in them all the time. And then industrial craft room. So this is what I've made these things really quickly, and it turns out I have run out of stuff to make anymore. I thought I had some more stuff. Have I made 64? I must have made 64. Carbon plates, advanced circuits. We made some normal circuits the other day that's just surrounded by vanilla stuff. Normal circuits surrounded by vanilla stuff. Carbon plates are just coal processed a few times, so we've been grinding coal into, come on, which version have we been using? Been grinding coal into the Ender IO stuff. Come on, Ender IO stuff, where are you? It's not even showing there. I've been making the coal dust anyway. I've been making the carbon plates out of that. So you get coal dust, you put it into a square, you get these raw carbon fibres, put 2 of them together to get raw carbon mesh, and then they go through a compressor. So I've made a load of them. You can see I've got another stack of them there, and making copper cables to make some more circuits here. So I don't need the snips or the hammers anymore because I can do everything with the metal former. So I am making more circuits and stuff ready to expand these information panels. Now all I've done is I've just made I've made the advanced information panels. These have got built-in colour, so you don't have to make the colour cards, and you have to make text cards to add text to them, so I've been making a lot of them. What I'll also do is I'll make some advanced panel extenders. So the ones on the doors like this are just going to be single square ones, but I'm going to have bigger ones in other places. I'm going to have them and see what I can monitor with them, power or whatever. So that's that. Right, I think we're about ready to finish the episode. The world will be up for download when the episode goes out, because that's going to give me another 8 or so hours to be able to get on with a bit of work, and I may have some kind of automation up, but at the minute there's no resources coming in anyway, so I want to get it so that if I do start quarrying or laser drilling, then it is automated. I don't want to leave it kind of like this because it's not really a functional factory. But anyway, I am going to leave it there. I'm going to say thank you very much as always for watching. Have a Merry Christmas everyone, and I shall see you on the other side. Cheers, bye. Oops, one more thing, meant to show you this. I thought I'd make a power monitor just to see if it connecting it here, connected to all the capacitor banks. And it does. 2.5 trillion RF. Yay, I have the power.